Find the inverse of the matrix if it exists. Since this is not a 2 by 2, we can't use that trick, that formula. So we're going to have to do this the long way. The long way is making a matrix right here. 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2. And right next to it, we make the identity matrix of the same size. 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Now, the whole point is to make the identity matrix go on this side, and we're going to use row operations to do it. So in other words, we're going to try and, just like making this reduced row echelon form, but we have more numbers to deal with over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get zeros here first, and then I'm going to get a 0 here, and then I'm going to put a 0 here, and then a 0 here. So we're going to be working this corner first, and then go up this way. So in order to make this one 0 right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take row 1 and I'm going to subtract it to 2 row 2. Mainly because if I take this and subtract 2 of these, I get 2 minus 2, which makes this 0. And I'm going to replace row 2 with that. And then to get rid of this one and make it 0, I'm going to take row 1 and just subtract row 3, and I'm going to replace row 3 with that. So I'm going to do two things at once. Okay, so 2 minus 2 is 0. Oh, first of all, I need to write down my top one since I'm not changing it. So this is 0. And then you have, let's see, 1 minus 2, which is going to be negative 1. And then I have 0 minus 8, so that's negative 8. And then 1 minus 0, which is going to be 1. And then 0 minus 2, which is negative 2. And then 0 minus 0, which is 0. The next one is going to be, now I'm just going to say it instead of pointing it out. But I am doing this with this, so the first one is going to be 2 minus 2, which is 0. 1 minus 1, which is 0. That's nice because it just gave me a 0 where I wasn't going to expect it, but it was. So, and then I get 4, let's see, 0 minus 2, which is minus negative 2. Then 1 minus 0, which is 1. 0 minus 0, which is 0, and then 1 minus 1, 0 minus 1, which is negative 1. And there we have that. Now, if you notice, we have all zeros here, so now I'm going to work on this one right here. And in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take row 2 and subtract 4 times row 3 and replace that with row 2. So since row 1 and row 3 are not going to change, I'm just going to rewrite them. So I get 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. And then 0, 0, negative 2, 1, 0, negative 1. And then row 2, subtract row 2, which is 0, subtract 4 times 0, which is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. And then I get negative 1 minus 4 times 0, which is negative 1. Negative 8 minus 4 times negative 2, which is 8. So negative 8 plus 8 is 0. 1 minus 4 times 1, which is negative 3. And then negative 2 minus 0, which is going to be negative 2. And then 0 minus 4 times negative 1, which is 0 plus 4, which is going to be 4. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I need to get this to become 0. We can deal with the diagonals by just dividing out a constant. So I'm going to get rid of this one by taking row 1 and just adding it to row 2. And then I'm going to replace row 1 with that. And while I'm at it, since I'm not using row 3 at all, I'm going to actually divide row 3 by negative 1/2. Multiply row 3 by negative 1/2. Row 3. Which will give me a 1 here, which is eventually what I need. So if I do that, I end up getting 2 plus 0, which is 2. 1 minus 1, which is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. Then 1 minus 3 is negative 2. 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2. And then 0 plus 4 is 4. And then I have 0, negative 1, 0, negative 3, negative 2, 4. Divide the third row by negative 2, so that's going to be 0, 0, 1, negative 1/2, 0, 1/2. Now, I'm just going to multiply 1/2 to row 1 and take negative row 2 and just change the row 2 to a negative. So I get 2 divided by 2, which is 1, 0, 0. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then I go 0, 1, 0. Negate, negate, negate. And then I have 0, 0, 1, negative 1/2, 0, 1/2. So if this is A, then the inverse is just going to be this piece right here. So my inverse is going to be the matrix negative 1, negative 1, 2, 3, 2, negative 4, negative 1/2, 0, 1/2. Now, I'm not going to do this, but if I multiply A by my inverse, I'm going to get the matrix 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And if you get bored, you can do that, but I'm not going to do it on this video.